I was super excited to talk to you today because like the more I dig into you, you're like an onion, man. There's so much to you. You got Trinity Sauna, for everybody probably knows about that, but you also do fitness coaching. You're an inspiration. You are big into obviously self-improvement and helping people as well too. You're a super dad. The post you did today almost made me cry.
Yeah.
That one with the dad.
Yeah.
Like that is like what a difference in parenting. Eh?
I know. Heavy hitter for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's like sometimes I'll make these things, like these videos, and then I'm looking at it, but like I can feel what it must look like from the outside.
Yeah.
Like I know it's me, but I tear up when I look at it because it's like, Jesus, it's not about, like I said, pointing fingers. It's just about his reaction.
Yeah.
So it's like, make it for the right purpose, then you can enjoy it like anybody else because you're watching Keegan, really.
Yeah. And you know, it's Keegan's 9 and Lila's 9. I just came from her graduation actually this morning. So she just went through graduation, and it's just like seeing those kids grow up. And I had a great childhood. My parents were awesome, but just seeing the next step, like I'm sure, you know, seeing what you're giving to Keegan right now, the lessons you're giving Keegan right now must give you so much pride.
Huge amount of pride. Like it's, I'm probably blessed that I wasn't a girl dad, because I would just be a puddle of just a glass case of emotion 24/7.
Yeah.
But it is very, very special to see just firsthand the impact you can have on a child. You know, like I had a great childhood. It was just different, right? And now I get to give Keegan something that I never had, which again makes it super special, but like very meaningful. And it's like learning something new too. Because I just didn't grow up with a dad. So, like, I never knew what it was like. I could see it.
Like, you didn't have a dad at all?
No,
like
he was gone when I was 2 weeks old.
Oh, wow.
So, it was it's just something that I grew up with. And it's just like a norm as a kid. But then as you grow up and spend a lot of time with other people and their families, and you're like, that kind of looks cool. And then it starts to eat away at you a little bit, so...
Wow. Yeah, it's funny, right? When you end up seeing that, it's almost like I've seen it in the past where it's thank you for what you given me, right? By not having the dad, it made you a tremendous dad in a kind of weird way, right?
Big
like
time, big time.
You know?
And like it's like the more I grow, the more I learn about myself, the more I can let go and just see it for what it is. And you know, like again, it's like I try not to hold any grudges, any anger, any just ill feeling towards anybody as much as I can, because it just doesn't do any good. And so like now when you see it for what it's worth, it's like, I can't thank that person for what they didn't give me, because now I have the perfect, I guess, my own blueprint to show Keegan what it could be like.
Like that. Now let me ask you about discipline, because you're a disciplined guy, right?
Yeah.
What would you say? Because I have my answer to this for my daughter, right? How do you discipline Keegan, or do you have any rules for when it comes down to like deal breakers, when it comes down to him to make sure he does the right thing?
Yeah, I have had to work on this, because like, you can't compare kids to dogs, but like there's similarities, right? Like, but with dogs it's quite instant. It's like you show assertiveness and then they stop.
Yeah.
And then so like it's hard not to think that might work with kids, but it's like trial and error kind of, because I just try and I don't want him to be afraid of me. I want him to follow my leadership. And so like if I can guide him as opposed to telling him what to do, then that's better. But this is new for me too. Like up until he was just over 5, like I don't consider myself to be a present father. Like my what I held important was not 100% focus on him, and it was a lot to do with drinking and being distracted and other things. And so now that I am a present father, I can see the depth of coaching and guiding and being soft about discipline. Because like even he's 9 years old, and I try and teach him with words, but like sometimes it just does not work. So I'll be like, and then you have to pivot. So like the other day, like he gets so pissed off when he strikes out in baseball. So I'm like, think about this. If you want to make it to the MLB, you're going to play maybe 50,000 games. And then do you think you're really going to remember one at bat? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, No, that wasn't the
No.
point. So I'm
No,
like,
you
all right,
missed it. You missed
let's
it.
go a different way here.
Yeah.
So then I just kind of sidestep, that message. But it's the same with everything. I just try to be soft. I try to put myself in his shoes. And of late, he is right, not everybody else. So, and I remember someone telling me about their kid getting in trouble in school. And it's like, well, what did my kid do? Mm-hmm. Automatically, you're thinking that they did something wrong. So
right.
I try now prove to him that I have his back.
Right.
Which opens him up to me more.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, I think with your character, you will learn and grow with that as it goes. And I know with Lila, I always think about patience. I always look at, someone said once, imagine this was the only time that you could come back to in a time machine. If you could just come back to that moment, that's the only moment you can come back to when you're like 80 or 90 years old. So I always try to have that patience, and take it. It's like I read a book before. It was like the 5-Minute Manager. So it's like, take that 5 minutes at a time. Like, what do you need right now? And making her the priority. Because I know we talked about earlier, when everything's so busy in an entrepreneur's life, a parent's life, and all these things, how do you prioritize? Do you have a list of, I would say, Brianisms or like Brian rules as to what comes first in your life?
That list is very small, and it is just, well, it's not small, I should say that, but it's Keegan over everything.
Love it.
Like, there is no, like, it's just, I think we might have talked about this the other day. It was just like, I've really tried to think about why I'm doing what I'm doing these days. Like, why am I running a business? Like, am I running a business because I want to have a mansion and a Lamborghini and, go to events in a limousine? Or am I running a business because that allows me to be present and 100% focused on Keegan and have people in place that allow me to parent and allow me to do fun things like, be there for other people, be there for the business in terms of like wellness and guidance and just helping as many people as possible, which was the goal. And just being able to, afford a bat for him, afford a glove for him, and just have a roof over our heads. It's like, just allow yourself to be able to be happy with the one person that matters to you the most, and that's Keeks.
I love that, man. So let's talk about Trinity Sauna. I love this place. For those that don't know, you got to go. Tell me about how you came up with the idea for Trinity. And then also after that, I'd love to share the transition of getting into Trinity Sauna as well too, man.
It's like, I really have to like tell you the whole story of like, it's a long one, but it's like, how did we get here? Because I did have a very unhealthy relationship with drinking from a very early age. I think the first blackout that I remember was maybe 11 or 12 years old. I remember the house I was in. I remember what I drank, bottle of whiskey. And from that day on, it was just a very normal thing for me. Like, I was drinking at least once a week, which turned into maybe once or twice a week the older I got. And then I just always relied on it to kind of like, I guess, looking back, I was numbing stuff that I didn't want to look at. A lot of people asked me, did I have a problem with it? And at the time, you never think you do. So it's just kind of like continued to be there. Brian is the party guy. He's the fun guy. Nobody has to deal with the blackouts except for my close friends. And then,
because I guess too, people, when it comes down to this drinking, people don't picture it being a problem if you're happy-go-lucky.
Yep.
Right? A lot of times they only picture it to be a problem if you picture the mean tyrant asshole who's beating someone and getting into fights, but you're probably were a really happy drunk, right? At the time, man.
For the most part, yeah. Like, the thing about it is that, like, and I'll get to this, is that I love everything about booze. I love having a pint with someone, catching up with someone. I love going to the pub, listening to music. I love going to parties and socializing with friends. And it all just kind of led me to really enjoying booze. And it came to a stage where it was just organizing things around the drinking, as opposed to like, I go to someone's house because I want to hang with them and drink, and then maybe Keegan play with their kids who are much older than Keegan and not focus on him.
Right.
But this unfortunately, this habit just kind of caught up with me. And on May 5th of 2023, I went out drinking for a lunch thing with work, and then continued to drink. And then later on that night, decided that it was a great idea to get behind the wheel of my truck. And then I drove home, but didn't make it home. Got caught by the police, spent the night in jail. And then the next day, that was when I stopped drinking for good, May 6, 2023.
Wow.
And then it kind of, because I've just fucked up, right? Like, it's just like, now this was rock bottom. Like, I was sitting in the jail cell and just like, it all hits you. It's like, what have you done? Like, number one, you got caught like drinking and driving. So everything's going to change now. It's like, you can't drive. And then all the court stuff kick in, but it's just like, you've just messed it up for everybody. Yeah. You know, like, I can't drive, and then I have to bring Keegan to baseball, to school on buses, and try and do my job and taxis and trains and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, I did it up to a point. And then January 2024, I was let go from work.
So I guess losing your license, a lot of people don't think like that's your job too, because you had to drive around. Yeah. So then how did you make that work in between?
I like I said, I was on trains, buses, Ubers, however I could do my job. I tried my best, and, you know, I performed. Like, I got it done, but it was incredibly difficult, and it was very time consuming. And you know, this, unfortunately, all this kind of like bubbled over because of going through a divorce too. So it was like divorce, then it was DUI, then it was losing your job. And it's just like, when does this stop? It's like bang, bang, bang. And it's like this classic point in time where like that jail cell was ground zero. Like, that was just awful. And it's like, where do we go from here? So first thing was giving up the booze. And then, unfortunately, like, getting let go from work, it was tough, but like, it was just another thing that happened. And when I got let go from work, I had a trip booked to Bali. Thank God, because like, when I gave up the booze, my obsession became working out, boxing, always in the gym, always doing something active, because again, the addiction became something healthy, which in itself may be unhealthy, but much better than drinking. And then I hated taking days off. So when I did take days off, the recovery side of things was what I would lean on, because it felt like I was doing something. And then when I was in Bali, I saw a bunch of these places that were beautiful and lots of greenery everywhere and bamboo and just a really nice vibe. And I was like, this is what I'm going to do. And oddly enough, like, when I got back from Bali, and that was 2024, February, is when I was like, that's what I'm going to do. And so then October 2024, 7th, Trinity was opened.
Wow.
Yes.
So you made a decision and ran right for it.
Went for it, yeah.
So a lot of people I talk to, they get sidetracked. They get an idea. They second guess themselves. How did you know that was the right one?
I always had this feeling that I wanted to help people. I just didn't know how. And I wasn't the person to help people. And when you say everything happens for a reason, that moment, you see, when I got caught drinking that night, unfortunately, with all the court stuff, I had to listen back to everything from that day. And there was a woman that pulled over to see if I was okay. She called the cops. So from the moment she called the cops, I had to listen to everything that transpired from that till getting booked in and all that stuff. And I asked her, I said, please don't do this, because this is going to change everything. And she said, you can't go on like this. Like, my brother did this, or something to do with her family. She said, I can't let this slide. And if that woman, and then inevitably, obviously, I got arrested. But I was like pleading with her. Yeah. So she could have been like, give me your keys, I'll park your car over here, we'll get it in the morning. I would have collected my truck and probably drank the next day. Right. But she didn't. And this was like a huge kick back into the right direction. And then the minute I said, this is what I want to do, and had some people helping me in the background, it was just, that was my mission. I was going to go for it. And then, you know, did up the renderings, got the bank loan, all that kind of stuff, ended up coming through. And it was just what was meant to be. Like, I was meant to do this.
I love that. It's like you had no plan B.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, you know, when you have a plan A, and if A doesn't work out, I got B, and if B doesn't work out, I try C, you're really not giving it your all for plan A.
Yep.
Right. And you went all in on Trinity Sauna. So, you know, it's a phenomenal place. And I know, you know, you get clients from all over the place there. People look it up. You get celebrities that go in there as well, too. What were some of the challenges starting it up? You know, there's lots of entrepreneurs out there that want to start their own business. They probably look at what you've done and think it's easy, but it's not. No. It takes a lot of time. Tell me about some of the struggle it was to build it, to do it.
I think whenever I talk about the timeline, it seems short because from, February to October, from, conception to then writing a business plan, getting a bank loan, all that kind of stuff.
That does seem quick.
It seems very, very quick.
Yeah.
And so the thing about it is the challenge was the concepts, really, because the minute I said I want to do this, I built a business plan, and having the business plan was one thing, but then getting the right place and getting the funding for all this was just a mountain to climb. But from day one, just to go back to your point about option A or option B, I only gave myself one option because it's like burn the boats. It's like when you go, like, I can't remember what that is. Like the ancient Romans, they would pull up on the beach and they would burn the boats because they are going to win this war.
That's right. The captain would end up saying, listen, you can't surrender. We can't turn around and run.
Yeah.
You either conquer the island or die.
Yes.
Because the boats are gone.
Yep. And I was willing to die on that sword. It was like, this is my idea. I'm going to give it my all or else it's not going to work. And so then May of that year, oddly enough, a lot of things happened in May. But late May, I found the building for Trinity. It was just down the road from where I lived. And so in a strange way, if the divorce never happened, the DUI wouldn't have happened. If the DUI didn't happen, I would never be down on Beach Boulevard and see this building. And all these weird things had to line up for me to find this building. And so I took the building without a bank loan. So then it was Brian's money, but I had to start building it. So it was like, because it was just like, I'm going all in on myself.
Wow.
So it was, and there was no other Trinities. There's really no other contrast therapy facilities nearby. So they're like, who's your competitors? And there's none.
Right.
Except if you go to Toronto, but it's like, we don't know what you want to do here. So I had to bring the bank in, show them updates, show them my concept, show them the rendering, show them all this stuff. But from May until August, it was Brian's money that was just dwindling. And there was no backing. So it's like that, and there was no money coming in.
Right.
So when that number goes to zero, it's game over. It's like
very scary.
Very scary.
That's what people don't realize. I think that's why so many people end up getting a job. They end up saying, hey, not for me, because they don't want to put their hat in the ring.
Yeah.
Right.
And so then that was a huge challenge. But then the money came through from the bank, and I had a trip booked to Europe with Keegan in August, and it just wasn't meant to open up when I wanted in September or late August, and then October we opened it up. But yeah, it was scary, man. I'm not afraid to take risks like that.
No, I don't think so. And I think we made a decision. You burnt the boats. You do it, right?
Yeah.
What was there anything that you would do differently for telling someone to start up a business? Like going through that process, going all in, learning about it. Was there anything you do differently, or tell someone to do this instead?
There's nothing. Absolutely, nothing I would change.
Right on.
Nothing at all. I could help someone. Not like when I give advice, it's not because I know the answer. It's because I've made the mistakes in the past.
Right.
So like I would try and help people not make the same mistakes, but like there's nothing I would change. I would still want to go through that terror, like the fear of like you're using all your money on this and there's no money coming in and there's no way to make money unless you go get a job. And that playing on your mind is probably, you're right, is when people go, nah, this is too much, I'm out.
Well, it's funny, I bring it to, in our world, it's homeownership, right? And there's a tremendous amount of fear today with people wanting to buy homes. People think it's, it's too expensive. Interest rates are going to go up. They're going to go down. There's uncertainty in the economy. And it's, some people just sit on the sidelines now. And just like some people have an idea to build a business at that they never build. Some people have an idea today to buy a house, but never do it. You know what I mean? I'm curious, when did you buy your first home?
So I love my property story in Canada because when I got here, it was like 12 or 13 years ago. We moved in with my ex-wife's family first, and then eventually, obviously, we just wanted our own space, and so we started to rent a property in Burlington. And then, at that time, you could buy a townhouse for, I think our first was like 400,000.
Wow.
It was just off Walker's.
In Burlington.
Yeah. And so, I was like, let's go look at the house and let's buy the house. But then a year later, it was worth 500. And I'm like, Caitlin, we need to sell this house. Let's look at other houses. So we looked at other houses. And from that point on, I think we went to about 6 or 7 houses. And from that townhouse, 400,000 to what we left 3 years ago, which we sold for 1.15 million.
So in 7 years, you went the property ladder, buying, selling, almost 7 houses.
Almost on the year every year.
Wow. Were you fixing them up or were you doing a little bit of work?
Fixing them up a little bit, doing a little bit of work. But just the market, it was just caught it at a good time and was willing just to take a little bit of a risk. And like, who buys a house and then a year later looks at a new house? Well, like someone that's just a little bit. Someone
who wants a lot of stress in their life, right?
But it's like, if you allow people that are qualified in their position to help you do certain things, then magic can happen. It's like, I don't think I can afford a house or a mortgage or whatever. Okay, well, why don't I reach out to Chelsea, whose job it is to find me money, so I can buy a house? And why don't I reach out to someone like Sam Ryder, my best friend, to buy a house because she's a realtor. And she's going to find me the right house. They're going to find me the money. And then inevitably, rather than me paying for someone else to live their dream, I'm going to pay to live my dream. Because if you're not paying for your own house, you're paying for somebody else's house. And inevitably, their dream versus yours.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Because you came directly here from, was it Ireland then?
Yeah. So I met my ex in Dublin. She was there for a year. Yeah. And we were working in a door-to-door sales company. And then she lost her visa, not lost her visa, but expired her visa. So we moved. Actually, we flew her to the UK and then flew her up to the north of Ireland and got a bus back down to Dublin because like there's no border in Ireland. It's so ghetto. But yeah. So we kind of kept her there illegally for a bit, and then we moved to London in the UK for 2 years, and then came back to Canada.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I was only in Ireland for about 10 days. Had a great time, and it was back when I used to get into the sauce quite a bit, too. And I remember on the signs there, I'll never forget riding on a bus. We were doing a little tour, and they had Guinness signs on there, and it said, Guinness is not a meal.
Yeah.
Like, even though I'm going to try. I'm going to try, right? Yeah. I'm going to try. Oh, wow. So let me ask you, you know what, just back on this one too, what do you think's harder? Do you think buying a home was harder or do you think starting a business is harder? Because you've done both and you've done well at both.
Yeah, I think they're very, very similar because like you're on one side of things and nowadays it's like unless you've done things right, making a lot of money, and you don't have any stressors. It's like there is stress on like paying your mortgage. It's a lot of money coming out of the account every month, and paying like your bank loan for your business is money coming out of the business every single month, and it's a stressor. But I think they're very similar. I just think that the property one is maybe a little bit harder now than it would be for a business because. On one side of things, if your concept is good and your business plan is solid and you have the right person that will back that, you're kind of in it together. But on the other side, if you buy a house and then it doesn't work out so well, it's like, okay, shit, now me and my little guy have no roof over our head.
Bank doesn't give a shit.
Yeah,
right?
Bank doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? And what we talk to people about is I like that. And that's great perspective on it. And do you think it's good then? I guess, would you say it's a good idea or solution that you buy the house first before the business? Only because it's giving you the opportunity, the foundation to sort of be there. And then you have a foundation to grow from for the business?
Yeah.
Or what would you think on that?
I would absolutely say that is the most important because, again, it's like when you put your trust in people that are qualified to help you to, like I said, like Chelsea, in Mission 35 Mortgages goes, well, why don't you do this? And I didn't know about it, but you can leverage your house to help the business or vice versa. And it's, I'm not qualified to do that.
Right.
So when you have the right people in line to help you, then you know. So if I didn't have the house first, I wouldn't be able to help the business. And I'm sure it kind of goes vice versa too.
I think so.
Yeah. But again, that's not my job. That's why I work with people like you guys to tell me that.
You know, so what would you say, how do you look for someone that you're going to trust? Like when I look for someone that, like when I did a fitness competition years ago, I wanted my guy to have abs. Don't want some guy who's 500 pounds teaching me how to get in shape.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be weird, right?
Yeah.
But what do you look for? Because I think in today's day and age, it's tough for younger people to say, this guy has credibility, right? Because this guy might have a Lamborghini and I think he's credible, but it's just a fucking rental car that he took a picture in front of.
Yes.
Right? So how would you look to seek credibility from someone? Because I think information is everything today and the right information is so important.
I think what you put out, you'll attract. Okay. And why I say that is because I will allow the right person to show themselves to me versus trying to chase the right person and fall in love with what this person could be. It's like Chelsea was at Trinity, and then me and Chelsea worked out together because we vibed together. And then Chelsea told me I should meet Brian, and then Brian came to Trinity, and then we went to the run club. And then this is about a year later, Chelsea's now helping me to try and, finance the business in a better way. But like, I didn't chase that. I let it happen organically and naturally. And if you trust that the world will show you the people that you need around you and properly listen and act on it at the right time, those people will come to you.
I like that.
It's just like before, like after my divorce and after all these things, obviously you want to go back into the dating world. And never once have I ever been on a dating app, because I truly believe that if the right person is out there for me, they're going to show themselves in everything that I do.
Yeah.
Because if I have to step out of my world and what makes me happy to find that person, it's not going to be organic. It's not going to be the right person. And I truly believe that happens for relationships, friendships, business relationships, and opportunities.
I like that. And I guess you have to engage in order to find those people too, right? Because I think that's the one thing that is people need to be out there, because it's hard to engage online to meet those people, right? Like, you're a social guy. I know you've got run clubs, you've got Trinity, you've got coaching clients. Like, you're out every single day, all day, engaging with people, right?
Yeah.
What would you say to people that aren't out there as much engaging with people? How do you get out there? What's the first step to do that? You make it look easy.
I probably do, because I do so much of it.
Yeah.
But the most important thing with anything like that is just doing one small thing. Just start it. Like, just do it. Just go. Like, nothing bad is going to happen. If you go to a run club, nothing bad's going to happen. If you go to a CrossFit class, to go and do a free trial, nothing bad is going to happen.
You might get a cramp.
Yeah. But
right? So.
It's like you just have to take action. The first step is doing anything towards that goal.
Yeah. I love that. What's next for Brian Trinity? Like, because I feel like you guys have momentum right now. And one of my favorite lines is, momentum's really hard to get, really easy to lose.
Yeah.
Right. And I think you've done a tremendous job building up Trinity in that. What would be the goal for that?
I think the goal for Trinity and the goal. So I was having a chat with someone about this yesterday, and it's like, well, Trinity isn't the building that you go to. Like, Trinity is the feeling you get when you leave the building. It's the feeling you get when you see the logo, or when you see me online, or Riley, or Bianca, or Eli, or any of the people that work, or Jade, or anybody, Bubba, anybody that's there. It's like they make you feel a certain way because they remember when they were at Trinity, not 538 Beach Boulevard. And so, like,
so true.
Can if the vibe was able to be emulated somewhere else, copied somewhere else, that's obviously the goal, because I want to help as many people as possible. There is no end to this list. And so my mission is to expand as much as possible. And that may be my own personal brand, that may be Trinity, that may be more locations. But my goal and what's next for Trinity is just to help that next person.
I love it.
Yeah.
I got to say to Bubba as well, too. I remember when I was in there, and like, I was freaking out for that 3.5 minutes, and all of a sudden this solid man comes behind me and just says, "You got this."
Yeah.
Right? Like, and you did that for me as well, too, the first time I was there, too. And it's like, you guys do a great job of just like, I never thought, because I had done cold plunges before, I never thought I could do 3.5 minutes. Yeah. I was like, 30 seconds, I'm good. 45 seconds, and I'm like, 3.5 minutes, you got to be fucked. There's no way I'm gonna do 3.5 minminutes in there. And
it's about empowering you to use what you've already got inside you, but just bringing it out, like, just show. Because after it all, there people always say, like, I couldn't have done it without you, but really, I'm not in the tub, you are. And you know, to go back to that, it's like helping as many people as possible. Bubba's writing a book called Blue Collar Breathwork too.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be coming out soon. And again, it's just like, it's experiences, it's helping people, it's coaching, it's just empowering people to do what's inside them, but that they may not realize.
And to dive in on that a bit deeper, when you say you want to help people, right? Because
Yeah.
I know, I think people say it, and there's a lot of, uncertainty around that. Because a lot of people say I want to help, but then when the actual requirement comes to help, they're not there, right? But, and that's one of the things that draws me to you is I know you want to help. You always give your time, your effort, your energy, and stuff like that. What does help look like for you when you say you're helping somebody? What does it look like for you?
I think the thing that stands out to me the most is just like, and it's this thing I go back to all of the time. It's like people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And it's like if someone, I think because I've gone through a lot of shit, I know what it's like to be down there. And so if someone is in that shit as well, all they need is just someone that's like there. I may not have to say anything, but I'll be there. And actions speak louder than words. It's like, I'm telling you I want to help. I have a building that is there to help people. I have a platform on social media that anybody can message me and reach out. And it's like, what do you want to be remembered for? I don't want to be remembered for someone that is, he had a business called Trinity. It's like, I want to be remembered for how I made you feel when you needed me to help you.
Yeah. I love how, some of the most successful people that I talked to in this forum here, Emily was a great one too, Emily O'Brien. She ended up saying, same as you, mission first, business second. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's what I hear from you too. It's like the mission first is to help people. And I find that the business will always succeed if you put the mission first.
Yeah.
I know for us, we always want to help people achieve financial security. We want to help you with your finances, right? So whether you do something or not do something, it's secondary to helping somebody, right? I love that, man.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Okay, so three things actually. Are you a reader? Do you like reading books? Are you?
I can't do it.
No. Okay. All right.
I've only ever read one book, and it was the Da Vinci Code, which is like a big book.
That is a pretty big book.
But
bro.
like,
okay.
I will try and read a book, and I'll go through one page, and I'm just like strategizing everything else.
You're like,
and I'm just looking at a page, but nothing.
Like you read
happening.
the same paragraph 4 times.
Yeah,
You're like this. Nope.
Or if you were probably watching me read a book, it would be like this.
And you're
I
like
don't know. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, okay, so I'm gonna do this then. So we'll adapt it because I always like to see, because I'm a reader. I love to read. I always ask people what their favorite book is. Do you have a favorite book then, or a favorite podcast, quote, mentor, I guess, that you sort of listen to, something along those lines? One of them.
I think I think I can kind of answer this in like, because I don't read books, it's not like I don't like to educate myself. And I think right now I'm in a huge kind of self dive, if that's what you'd call it. Like I really want to understand myself. I want to heal parts of me that I've not yet addressed. I want to get better, self-help. And so everything I watch and listen to is all about like, how do you understand yourself better? How do you inspire others? How do you just be a better person, better father, better friend? And so everything that I do, like I won't just like doom scroll about like cats jumping off, like all that kind of shit.
No,
I'll really try and zone in on motivational stuff, something that can help me, motivational quotes, or people that I find. It could be any random person,
right?
Like obviously you have Tony Robbins' book up here, and that could be a great answer, Tony Robbins. But like sometimes I'll watch a video of just an average dad, 600 views, not a lot of followers, whatever, and just this really profound, special message, and that will hit me harder than seeing some guy on stage telling me something that he's probably told a million people already.
I love that. I think that, wow, that's awesome, because I think that's through and through who you are, right? Because I think I've always believed that everything works out for me. And that's probably why we get along so well, because the way that you seek information is that what you require is going to come to you.
Yeah.
Right? So whether it's the dad with 600 views, whether it's a book, whether it's this, you're just letting the universe serve it to you.
Yeah.
Right?
It's true. And it's like, obviously we're getting to the end of this, but I've for the last, when was it? I think it was in July, I did a guided mushroom therapy experience.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
I've heard about that.
It was unbelievable. It's like it unlocks it just opens your brain up to a lot of different things. And just like, for me, it gave me this view on life where I'm not going to tell people that they're wrong, or I'm going to tell people that I don't believe what they're saying. That could be the flat earth, that could be aliens, that could be anything. And I'm going to ask them just to tell me why they think that.
Yeah.
So like, rather than, no, there's no such thing as aliens, because that's what I was told since I was 5 years old. I'd be like, what makes you think that? And just listen to people's views and opinions about all these different things. And that's any subject in life. I'm just saying aliens and pyramids and stuff, because that's like conspiracy stuff. But once you start to listen to people, the amount of education you can get on their viewpoint on things is massive. And then I've just become this very spiritual person through that, because it's like, oh my God.
Right.
There's a lot more views out there than what I've grown up with.
Wow. You know, and it's funny too, because that's how you build rapport with people, is strictly by listening. Right?
Yeah.
Like if you ever want to influence someone, you can't influence them if you're not in rapport. If you're not listening, you're not in rapport. That's such a beautiful thing, actually. Huh. How would you recommend that guided experience to other people?
Yeah.
Because I have a coach who actually told me about that as well too. Just recently. So I feel like it's a more popular thing right now.
It's very popular, and it's like I I went through a lot of therapy, and I found that therapy helped. But I would also always get to a stage where I just feel like I'm kind of repeating myself. And then I would get in my own head because it's like nothing's happening here. And so then I would do some Reiki to move some energy after my therapy sessions. And that helped. And that showed me like a spiritual side of things. And you have these guides that are helping you and all these woo-woo stuff. And then back to therapy. And then again, I just kind of felt like I hit a plateau. And then the next thing that was like calling to me was this mushroom therapy experience. And so I sat with a therapist. We go for a walk. He gives me the medicine. I sit down. I put an eye mask on. And then you go on this experience. And it was funny because in there, when I get scared, I'll just talk. Like, I'll just try and make sense of it. What's going on? What's going on? And he's like, just let things be. And then I woke up from it, and he's like, how was that? Because I went quiet. And I was like, it was good. And he's like, your quiet time was 4 hours. So I was just in this world for 4 hours on this couch. Just like the most profound messages. And I said to him afterwards, I said, I don't know if you played a playlist or were saying anything, but if you did, the way I took that on board was super special. And if you didn't, the way I connect with myself is insane. And so after that, it's like it takes down the curtain of all these things, but it's hard to get there. Once you're coming up on these mushrooms, it's scary. But some people could battle that. And I just like kind of let go, let the curtain unfold. And then it showed me about healing, being a healer. It showed me, the things I thought were holding me back were just on my peripheral. It showed me this little amber in a fire, and that was Keegan and I. And once that little amber in this ashes keep going, that fire inside you is kept, blowing it. Attend to it. Keep it going. And once that fire doesn't go out, you're okay. It was like very profound.
Damn.
I would. But
wow.
Again, if you're willing to go through the tough part to get to the other side of this, because it's different, like you're on mushrooms, right?
Yeah.
So you have to get past. And I felt like I deserved to see what I saw because I went through the shit to get there.
Wow.
Mm.
That's wild, man. Yeah. Fuck. Blow my mind. Okay, couple quick questions. Where would you rather live, townhouse or a condo?
Townhouse.
Cottage up north or sunny Florida?
Sunny Florida.
Penthouse overlooking the city or on the water?
On the water.
Mountains or on the water?
Water.
Water, maybe.
Are you going to say I have the perfect house for you?
No, this is a game I play with my daughter sometimes. But
Yeah.
anyways, okay. Last question here, too. I always love this one. What is something that you've stopped explaining to people and why?
Yeah. Probably why I don't see them anymore or speak to them.
Tell me about that. That's awesome.
Because sometimes no answer is the answer in itself, or no contact is the answer in itself. And I as we get older, it's like I have my priorities. I know what's important, and the person that used to have a million drinking buddies and want to socialize with everybody now understands that the smaller group and the more intentional relationships are more important. And so I'll never explain to anybody why I am the way I am now. I'm happy who I am. I'm a good guy with good intentions. I'm a good father. I try run a business as honest as possible. And I try to leave people with a happy feeling after being with me. And if you're lucky enough to be in that small group of people that I trust and talk to, well, then there's a reason for that. And if you're not, there's a reason for that too. And I'm not going to explain that. I will just show it with my actions.
Brian, thanks so much for taking the time, man. I'm grateful to know you, grateful to be around you, grateful that I went to Trinity Sauna, grateful that I get to spend time with you, because I think you always leave people better than they came, and I think you're a great fucking guy, man. So
yeah,
thank you, man.
Goes back
Appreciate
to you,
it, man.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers, buddy.
Love you, pal.
Love you too.